Hello you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be.
I'm Whitney. Keep it cute, get the boot.
What up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of the Witness gang, to join the Witness Nation. Now let's get into this, shall we? All right, you guys, welcome back to another installation of Evidence Over Emotions, Hollywood's leading monster surviving Harvey series. Okay, now I'm coming to you guys early today because I will be over at Red Label Confession and Reactions channel for his birthday turn up celebration. Okay, so if you guys are hearing this and want to show your support to your girl, head on over there. Okay, now I will place all the information on the community tab. Okay, but not for nothing, you guys, I am wanting to bring you guys this information because baby, we ain't even started the trial, and it's a lot of twists and turns and bumps and crumps in regards to this Harvey Weinstein trial. Okay, so reported by Variety, Harvey Weinstein's lawyers say everyone had transactional sex in Hollywood before #MeToo, and called Jennifer Siebel Newsom a bimbo.
More than 60 women have come forward to accuse Weinstein of sexual harassment, assault, and rape.
By the mid-90s, we were aware of what he was alleged to be doing.
Now, let's go ahead and get into this article, okay? Goes on to say Harvey Weinstein's defense told the jury that there is absolutely no evidence against their client and that every woman who will testify in his trial is an actress who will be playing a role on the stand, all to fit the narrative of #MeToo, which they characterized as an, quote, asterisk, end quote, of a movement that, quote, bursts forth like a supernova, end quote, with Weinstein as the poster child. Now, what is so interesting in regards to that, because everybody named Mama wanted to say that the Surviving R. Kelly series, or docu, if you will, is what, you know, catapulted all these claims in regards to R. Kelly that were, you know, substantially made to be true in lieu of his conviction. But it's funny how one gets upset at people banding together to hold somebody accountable and saying that all of it's malarkey, it's just, you know, people getting together. But baby, it's people getting together telling their truths. Okay, now some of them aren't real, or some of them are fabricated, or some of them false. However, that does not negate the authentic stories, the real stories. Goes on to say Weinstein's attorney Mark Worksman told juries that they should prepare to hear a, quote, firehouse of false and unprovable allegations, end quote, from women who agreed to have consensual sexual interactions with Weinstein, but years later are now embarrassed and lying about what really happened. Now, look, I can understand the embarrassment, but if I did something that was embarrassing to me, I'm taking that to my grave. Like, child, like, seriously, it's some stuff that I've done in my life with some people I will never speak about. I will take to my grave. They were either hideous. They were, I look back and be like, really, Whitney? Like, disgusting, like, disturbing, like, really? And it's going to go with me to my grave. I'm not going to feel bad about it later and try to tell, no. No, it's because this was sinister for one. Two, this was criminal, period. Quote, look at my client, end quote, Worksman said, pointing to Weinstein. Quote, he's not Brad Pitt or George Clooney. Do you think these beautiful women had sex with him because he's not? No, it's because he's powerful, end quote. You know, and no shade, I do believe a percentage of that. However, I believe that's what kept their mouths shut, if anything. I don't think that they went into it like, oh my God, I'm going to get a great position or whatever. I feel as though it happened and it was just like, okay, well, he is powerful. I don't want to rock the boat. But then when they start hearing about all these other stories and allegations, yeah, they came out. That's normally what it does. When it rains, it absolutely pours. Weinstein's attorney told the jury that Hollywood has changed today, but back in the day, quote, transactional sex, end quote, was par for the course. Quote, sex was a commodity, end quote, for, quote, rich and powerful men like my client, end quote. Weinstein's attorney said, even getting its own nickname, the casting couch, which we are also familiar with that. However, in regards to the casting couch, we've heard, okay, hopefully I can find some clips in here. We've heard men talk about the casting couch. And when they talk about it, they ain't just no, a commodity. And it ain't just no, transactional sex. It's like a forcible situation. It's like get on your knees or this. And to be honest with you, the casting couch for years has been scrutinized because it's not just a, well, give or take a situation. It's a take. And then I may give you this. I may. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get an opportunity because you are a willing participant on the casting couch. That's so the opposite. You know what? I may do like a deep dive in regards to the casting couch because everybody knows about it, but it was never portrayed as to be transactional. It is transactional, but it wasn't beneficial, if you will. Right? What up, witness gang? I want to pause right here from this presentation just to point a few things out. I came across this film, The Casting Couch, dated 1924. Okay. However, it came out in 1995 and it entails a young lady auditions for a part in a movie. The casting director gets her alone in his office and demands that she have sex with him or she won't get the part. Now, again, listen to the date of that, 1924. Right? And it comes out and it premieres in 1995. Do your research, look it up. Okay. But I say all that to say that, the way this attorney is projecting the casting couch as being, just a fair exchange. This is from 1924, detailing how it was kind of like a close-off situation that the casting director gets this person or this young lady alone and demands. It's not like, hey, I give you this. It's a demand. And if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. It wasn't like she insinuated it, but you hear the depiction of the director being demanding in exchange. And again, that's a person of power over you. But you don't want to hear it from me. Take a look at these two clips that I found of these actresses explaining their experiences on the quote unquote casting couch. And after that, I'll the commentary.
I found when I was a 16-year-old, fresh from boarding school, going out into, on the casting couch, I was definitely objectified to an extreme. And when I
was it the way you made you feel, you were made to feel, or the way you were treated?
The way I was made to feel, the way I was exploited, and the kinds of roles and the kinds of things I was expected to do in auditions. I mean, there was one horrific incident where I went back for a second audition. It was a screen test. There were two other people in the room, the director, who I'd seen previously, and the casting director, who was a woman. And the director asked me to sit with my legs apart. The camera was right between, positioned where it could see up my skirt, to put my leg over the arm of the chair, and before I started my dialogue, think about the character that I was supposed to be having the dialogue with, and how it felt to be made love to by this person. And I was thinking, this is so strange. Why would I need to do that? But this is the director. He is talking. There's the casting director.
It must be normal.
It must be normal. I'm 18 years old, and I'm thinking this is obviously something that, I was in a protected, there were boundaries. And 3 years later, I was at the Cannes Film Festival, and we bumped into this, my husband and I bumped into this rather drunk producer, a British producer, who said, who mentioned the director that I had this audition with, and he looked very sheepish and walked away. And my husband grabbed him later and said, why did you start to say something and then didn't? And it turned out that the director who went on to make the film and who I was auditioning for used to show that video late at night to interested parties at his house. A video of me touching myself with a camera up
So
my
you were
skirt.
abused, but at the time it didn't feel like
And
it.
that was in a professional environment.
For many of the people you're trying to help, that's an inspiring story because you've obviously done so well from it and you're
What would
able
I
to
have done
talk
about
about
that?
it.
Here's the thing. What does a person do? What does a young woman do in that situation? Obviously, I shouldn't care about getting the job, number one. Absolutely not acceptable behaviour.
You have to realise it's wrong as well, don't you?
Also, as an 18-year-old girl, perhaps the older woman in the room should have put her job on the line and said, I don't condone this behaviour. It's not just about, this is the thing that Stella Creasy was saying today in Parliament Square, it's not about the person that's been abused. It's not just their role to say enough. It's about the people around. How much are the people that witness, how much are they perpetrators of the crime? It's a responsibility that we all need to recognise our part in trying to be aware.
Talking about a good piece of advice. How did she know this? It's so weird. They somehow know everything, right?
Yeah.
And she knew because I was meeting Al Capp, which was like a big, he was a cartoonist and whatever.
Yeah. Lil Abner.
And Lil Abner. And I was like, really nervous and whatever. And she said, the casting couch, just remember, not only is it a very bad thing, but remember that people can put you in front of the camera. But you have to be ready. You have to be good.
The Al Cap, he famously tried to get at you by offering you a part.
Oh, yeah.
And you were very young.
Yeah, I was 19. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't offer me the part. It was actually, he had these pimps walking all around New York.
Right, you met a nice guy.
And I met a nice guy. I mean, he was so nice. And, told me I was this and that and, whatever, my God. And I was doing this show and you look like a great character that's been created. And I believed him, And then, of course, I went up for the meet. And it was like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, it was so scary and so... I thought, what am I doing in this apartment? And the man wasn't even there yet,
Right.
Anyway, he arrived. And then what ensued was kind of what these guys do, He disrobed and took off all his whatever, his business clothes and came in a dressing gown. I think I got the picture there. And I thought, I'm in trouble. Where's the door? I don't want to do this. And then I read a little bit for him. And he said, no, you don't have to raise your voice. It's in theater. And that sold me. I went, wait a minute. He knows what he's talking about. I said, okay, so I'll do it more quiet, more real. That's right. And then he wanted me to show my legs. And I said, Mr. Cap, I don't know. I don't think so. And then I sat down and he wanted me to give him a kiss, and I went, I don't do this, I'm sorry, And he said, well, just go back. You're never going to make anything in your life, whatever.
Quote, transactional sex. It may have been unpleasant, and now embarrassing, end quote. Worksmen said, but, quote, everyone did it. He did it. They did it, end quote. Doesn't sound good, if you ask me. Doesn't sound good, if you ask me, because it's like a lot of those experiences, as he said, were unpleasant. What made them unpleasant, though? What made the situation unpleasant? I'm unbeknownst to me, to me, sex is pleasurable. Okay, it's pleasant. Okay, it's delicious. It's delectable. All right, and no shade. Even when it be with the most gruesome looking guys that I've been with, it's still the same. Only time when it's ever been unpleasant is whenever it's a forcible situation and I didn't want it, I wasn't in the right mood, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so but anyways, that's me. Weinstein's attorney said the hashtag Me Too movement. It's like a movie that turned Weinstein into, quote, Hollywood's Chernobyl, end quote, casting him in the, quote, smoldering, radioactive, end quote, part of the bad guy. And the women, quote, the sequel to the casting couch is the hashtag Me Too trial, end quote. Weinstein's defense said they will play the part of the damsel in distress with this beast. They have to lie to themselves, to you, to this court, Worksman told the jury. Their hypocrisy will be on full display. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I guess we're in opening. We're in the opening of the trial. Now, you know, I should have known better because yesterday was the 24th. And as I've been keeping you guys abreast, we were made aware that they should be getting into the trial by the 24th. So here we are, okay, in regards to, I guess you can say that these are the opening statements in regards to the trial. So, okay, let's get this rocking and rolling. Earlier in the day, the prosecution painted a startling different picture of Weinstein, telling the jury that the former Hollywood producer and already convicted rapist was a serial predator who used business meetings as a cover to sexually assault women over decades. The deputy DAs explained to juries that Weinstein's power enabled him to take advantage of aspiring hopefuls in the entertainment industry by assaulting and harassing them, which made them fearful of Weinstein's retaliation. During the prosecution's opening statement, so we have begun. Quotes from women who will testify in the trial were presented to the jury, sharing their allegations of forcible oral sex, groping, fondling, and rape. When the defense faced the jury, they urged the jury to use their, quote, common sense, end quote, and realize that there is no forensic evidence such as a police report, grape kit, DNA, semen sample, or surveillance video of any criminal activity to back up the women's accusations. Quote, each will boil down to believe me, end quote. Weinstein's attorney said of the victims, quote, if an accuser waits years, the allegations boil down to her word, end quote. The prosecution plans to bring in a forensic psychiatrist to serve as an expert witness to educate the jury on grape myths, which could explain some of these behaviors described by Weinstein's defense. And as you guys know, we heard about that in the whole R. Kelly trial because, you know, that is the big thing, which irritates me about people at times. Like even my own people, that I've talked to in the past about the whole R. Kelly situation. The question is always why now and why they waited so late. And as a victim, when I'm telling people, I was getting molested from the age of 5, 6 on up until the age of 14. And I say up until I was 14 because that's when I decided to talk out about it. Okay. That's when I was like, okay, enough is enough. Right. So one would say, why did you wait that long? And to be honest with you, it stayed within the house. My behavior didn't change. It wasn't really any ramification to this person or the persons, shall you speak. And I just kind of felt like, oh, well, shoot, I don't matter that much. So for years, I didn't say anything because nothing was going to happen anyway. When I spoke up, nothing happened. This person didn't get in trouble for anything that they did or these people, so I just grew up with the stigma that I'm not that important. And even then, ooh, come on now, coming to a revelation. That's where my devalue of myself started because I wasn't protected. I didn't get, nothing happened to that, the main person. It's other situations that transpired after that, but nothing happened to him, them, none of them, right? So for years, I just devalued myself and I started putting myself in some damning situations because who cares, right? So that irritates the heck out of me when people be like, why now? Why they wait so late? Well, they had finally got the courage to say the hell with it, and that's why I came out with my my documentary. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my family still to this day have not watched it. One, they probably don't want to face the music that it happened. Two, it's heavy. Three, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. But I really wish people would be like, get off of that whole why now type of situation, because now that's just it. Because now. Worksman shared a side of Weinstein that the DA did not, and instead of focusing on his power in Hollywood, his attorney refocused on Weinstein's humble beginnings, telling the jury he was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He worked hard to create success for himself. His attorney said, urging the juries not to get distracted by stories of private jets and celebrity parties. Quote, with tremendous fame and fortune came fame of fortune seekers, end quote. His attorney said, categorizing the women as having, quote, consensual sex with Mr. Weinstein because they wanted to exploit their connection with Mr. Weinstein, end quote, and having, quote, sex in exchange for something with value, end quote. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, child. All right. Do I believe that happened in a lot of cases? Yes, I do believe that. Okay. But I just feel as though that I don't care how your life started. I don't care about your humble beginnings. I think everyone starts with the humble beginning, even if you do have a quote silver spoon in your mouth, because you got to deal with people saying you got a silver spoon in your mouth and you didn't work hard to get that. And so people that are rich go through stuff. We see it now. Case in point, Kanye West. This man is ain't crazy, but he has billions of dollars. He's a billionaire, right? We can go down the line. The Kardashians, look at them, okay? Demonic entities run through and through their family, period. But at the end of the day, it doesn't negate the wrongdoing that these people do. And I don't understand why people try to go back to Methuselah times and try to dig up some goodness in there, when you did what you did and you have to be held accountable, period. Weinstein's attorney spent much of his time during opening statements focusing on Jane Doe number 4. Now, if you guys don't know who that is the mayor's now wife, right? Who was revealed to be Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the actress and director who is married to California Governor Gavin Newsom, who accused Weinstein of raping her in a hotel room in 2005. She has become a leading voice against sexual harassment and assault in recent years. I wonder why, right? Because she just wanted to get into that. No, she experienced that. Quote, she's made herself a prominent figure of the #MeToo movement, end quote, Worksman said, listing her current accolades and statues as the first partner of California. But back in the early 2000s, when Siebel Newsom was an inspiring actress and filmmaker, Weinstein's attorney says she was a, quote, Hollywood wannabe, end quote. Worksman told the jury that during the alleged rape in 2005, Siebel Newsom says she faked an orgasm to end the assault quickly. Weinstein's attorney said there is no more, quote, enthusiastic signal of consent, end quote, then yes, which is why he said Mr. Weinstein believes she consented, end quote. What the hell? Like, that's stupid. Just because somebody orgasms is consent. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Yeah, clearly, like they just said, they're trying to get it over. I'm gonna act this thing out. Maybe this will make him stop and get off of me. Right? No. I mean, she could. See, yeah. Oh, this is stupid. He's stupid. Weinstein's attorney also noted that Weinstein was a big donor to the Democratic Party and contribute money to Gavin Newsom throughout the years. He noted that in 2007, Weinstein had the couple as guests to one of his parties. During the time when Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco, quote, she brought her husband to meet and party with her rapist. Who does that? End quote. Somebody who doesn't want to rock the boat, especially when her husband is in politics, you idiot. Like, I mean, that was just no brainer to me. Oh, I'm definitely not going to say nothing now. Definitely. Nope. I'm definitely not going to say nothing now. Because this man and I done married, want to get into politics. And so I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to do nothing because I know how powerful Weinstein is. He is giving him money for it. Smile and just keep it pushing. I had to do it for years with my family members. Come on now, somebody. Worksman said, quote, he took money from his wife's rapist for his political campaigns, end quote. Worksman, and he probably had no idea. She probably didn't even tell him. I didn't tell my husband right off about my abuse. Why? Hi, my name is Whitney. Nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, you're so handsome. I got molested growing up. Like, I mean, where does that come in at? You know, and even after you get married and stuff, you don't want to damper the mood, you know, the spirits. That's heavy, you know? So you just kind of keep that stuff to yourself until you feel like, okay, you know, so he probably didn't even know. You know, she probably didn't. You hear about, like what we heard about in the R. Kelly trial. Rashana didn't even tell her parents until it was about to hit the fan. You know? Then let's go further back to the New York trial. We hear about John Doe 1. What's his name? He went as Lewis in trial. But we hear how he got married and had kids. His wife didn't even know about this. It wasn't until he had to go to trial a little bit before then he told his wife. I wonder if they're still married to this day. But what are we talking about here? Anyway, Worksman said if Sybil Newsom didn't have her current place in politics today, quote, she'd be just another bimbo who slept with Harvey Weinstein to get ahead, end quote. God dang. This man is brutal. This man is brutal. Yikes. Right? Prosecutors said, and this is reported by CNN.com, the prosecutor said in opening statements of Harvey Weinstein's second criminal trial that started Monday. Yes, okay, so it did start yesterday. That 8 women will testify in court. They were sexually assaulted by the powerful Hollywood mogul. Quote, each of these women came forward independent of each other, and none of them knew one another. End quote. That's very interesting, right? Very, 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 very interesting in regards to it, okay? Prosecutor Paul Thompson told the jury according to a pool report. Now, 4 of the women's testimony will be directly connected to specific charges. These women include Jennifer Siebel, as we heard, a filmmaker and the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom. Jane Doe number 1, a model, an actress who lived in Italy at the time. And then Jane Doe number 2, a 23-year-old model and aspiring screenwriter. And Jane Doe number 3, a licensed massage therapist, according to the pool report. Okay. Says the most recent indictment in the case indicated that there were 5 women directly connected to charges. But CNN is working to clarify the difference between that indictment and the prosecutor's opening statements. Okay. In addition, 4 women will testify as, quote, prior bad acts, quote, witnesses. Right. So that's why you had the likes of Lisa Van Allen and, you know, just to kind of give y'all some similarities, because, you know, we haven't really just dived deep into the Harvey Weinstein, not just yet, because I am, you know, like I said, tonight is not a good one, but I'm gonna be bringing you updates as they come in. I'll be over on my Twitters and, you know, following my people as I do, that are going to be giving, you know, account for this trial. But yeah, child. meaning their testimony isn't related to a specific charge. And yeah, we know that. But can be used by the jury as prosecutors try to show Weinstein had a pattern in his actions. These women will testify about assaults outside of Los Angeles jurisdiction, Thompson said. After openings, Jane Doe number 1 took the stand as the first witness and accused Weinstein of assault. She said she was staying in a hotel for the Los Angeles Italia Film Festival in February 2013 when she got a call that Weinstein, who she barely knew, wanted to see her inside her room. She asked him to leave, but he grabbed her by the hair and forced her to perform oral sex. She testified, quote, "I was crying, choking," end quote, she said. She broke into sobs in court, leading the judge to end testimony for the day. Wow. Listen to this, you guys. In the prosecution's open statement, Thompson outlined the women's accusations and noted the similarities in their stories. The women will testify that Weinstein lured them into private meetings, often in hotel rooms, and then sexually assaulted them, Thompson said. Quote, "I'm shaking and I'm kind of being dragged to the bedroom," end quote. He quoted one woman as saying, according to the pool report. Thompson also highlighted the women's understanding of Weinstein's imposing physical size, as well as his power in Hollywood to make or break careers, the pool report said. Quote, "I was scared that if I didn't play nice, something could happen in the room or out of the room because of his power in the industry," end quote. One woman said, according to Thompson. And I believe it. I believe it, right? I believe it because, like, we've heard in trial, off of audio out of R. Kelly's mouth say that people get murked for stuff like this, and you know what I'm saying, and the lawyers and stuff talking about they should have murked Lisa Van Allen. Like, y'all gotta know that people really do wind up gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Funny how I think it was, what was it, that other reporter or somebody that was involved and she got into this crazy wreck. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can put the name in the chat, but like, yeah, stuff really pops off with these people in this Hollywood, And so, I mean, this trial has started. It started on yesterday, and it is already just damning, if you will. These attorneys, boy, they have a way of making you feel so low, making you feel so disgusted, making you think, well, why the heck so? You know what I'm saying? Like very, very interesting grab at this particular trial. If I don't say so myself, very, very, very interesting way of which they are going to attack this whole situation. But not for nothing, you guys, that is the video. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're there, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And tell me what you guys think. I will be reporting as much as I can, as often as I can, in regards to the latest when it comes to this whole trial, okay, pertaining to pertaining to Harvey Weinstein, okay? So I will see you guys on the next installation of Evidence Over Emotions, Hollywood's Leading Monster, Surviving Harvey series. Bye.
More than 60 women have come forward to accuse Weinstein of sexual harassment, assault, and rape.
By the mid-90s, we were aware of what he was alleged to be doing.
What up, what up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes, yes, yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in Whitney DTV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify.